Hello, I hope this hat isn't distracting, but I'm cold and I also have a cold, so it's serving a purpose right now. I said in my last video that I wanted to talk about young adult fiction, some recent releases that I've been reading. I have 3 books I want to talk to you about. 2 of them I've read and 1 of them I've just started reading, so I'm going to start with that one because I'm really excited about it. I've been meaning to get this since it came out at the beginning of September, and it is Patrick Ness's new book, More Than This. This is a young adult book, obviously, and I really don't know that much about it, and I didn't know prior to buying it. I just wanted it because it's a Patrick Ness book, and Patrick Ness is fast becoming one of my favourite authors, not even young adult authors. He's just a really incredible writer. The main character dies, which sounds like a spoiler, but it's not, because it happens on page 3, and I'm going to read you the little blurb at the back, which says, "A boy drowns, desperate and alone in his final moments. He dies, then he wakes, naked, bruised and thirsty, but alive. How can this be, and what is this strange, deserted place?" And it goes on to talk about the afterlife. I absolutely adore this cover. I kind of want it on a t-shirt. That is all I can tell you, because I only got to about page 10 on the bus home, but I'm already completely hooked, and I'm going to reward myself with that when I finish writing the essay I'm supposed to be writing. Definitely check out Patrick Ness's books if you haven't already, because he's just so fantastic, and you should follow him on Twitter because he's a pretty funny guy. The next book I want to talk about I mentioned in a haul video that I uploaded in September, I think it was, and the book hadn't even been released then, and I've been reading it kind of ever since. I was reading it slowly, and the book is called Fearsome Dreamer by Laure. This is an advance review copy from the lovely people at Hotkey Books, and so the cover doesn't actually look like this. I said that in the haul video. I did not expect to enjoy this book half as much as I did. It was just really enjoyable to read, and that's what I really love about young adult fiction, is getting stuck into a really good story with really interesting characters. Okay, so characters are a big part of this book. We have 3 narrative voices. We have 3 people telling this story. We have Rue, who's a teenage girl, we have White, who's a teenage boy, and we have Frith, who is a man. And it's set in the future, where all the countries have turned into world with a capital W, apart from Angletar. Angletar is sort of this technophobic country who's very independent, and they're determined not to get sucked into the technology and the lifestyle and world. But what's really interesting, and what White, who lives there, wants to escape from, is life with a capital L. And it's a virtual reality in that you never have to leave your own home. You can sort of download food, essentially. You can meet with friends, all in this virtual sort of simulated world. And so Angletar is the complete opposite. It's kind of old-fashioned, it's very simple, sort of peasant kind of lifestyle, and that's where Rue lives. And Rue has been having these pretty strange dreams that aren't really based in Angletar, and she doesn't really know why. And it turns out that Rue is talented with a capital T. She has the talent with a capital T, as does White, and Frith happens to be a talent scout of sorts. And that is what brings them all together. I'm not going to tell you what the talent is, but this book is really caught up with escapism, whether that's through the talent or through dreams. And the 2 things I really liked about this book: firstly, it was slow, in that it just began with Rue's narrative, and there were no backstories. It didn't tell you sort of how they got to this point. Everything just unfolded, and it wasn't until towards the end that you sort of started to get an explanation about world and life and the talent. And that's because there's going to be a sequel to this book, so it ends on a sort of cliffhanger, and definitely sets itself up for another book, if not another series of books. So it's slow, but it's really enjoyable to read just because it's well written, and that leads me into the second thing I really like about this book. The 3 characters are from 3 different places, and Rue's language and the writing style whenever it's her chapters is very sort of colloquial. She's very direct, and she says what needs to be said, and there's no airs and graces, I guess, whereas White is almost quite hard to read because he doesn't use contractions. He says everything in their proper form, so he'll say it is and should not and could have, instead of, you know, the abbreviated forms that we're quite used to when we're speaking and when we're reading. So there's definite distinct voices, and they're 3 very different characters, and I'd grown quite fond of all three of them. So I really love this book and you should definitely check it out. And finally, I picked up this book when I had an Amazon gift voucher thing last month. It's called Severed Heads, Broken Hearts by Robyn Schneider. If you live in America, this book will be called The Beginning of Everything, and it will have a complete different cover, a nice yellow one with a roller coaster from memory. I prefer the American cover, but I prefer the UK title. Strangely enough, Robyn Schneider is an author based in California. She's also a YouTuber and a very lovely one who you should check out. This book is about Ezra, and Ezra is kind of golden boy, sort of the all-American guy, you know, he's a tennis player and he's popular, prom king, you get the picture. He has a mighty fall from grace when he breaks his leg really badly and he can't play tennis anymore, and he has to sort of change his outlook and also change his social circles at school. And so he makes some new friends and he befriends the new girl. The new girl is called Cassidy, and yes, it's a love story. I guess it's supposed to be a twisting of the kind of manic pixie dream girl trope that we're all so sick of hearing about. It's probably important to say that I read this in one day. I practically read it in one sitting, and it's not a short book by any means. It's over 300 pages long. I really got into it and I wanted to know what happened. I think I would recommend this to someone a little bit younger than me. It's a nice story, it's not particularly extraordinary, but it was enjoyable to read, and it has lots of nerd culture references, I guess is the best way to describe them, and sometimes they seem really overt and really sort of unnecessary, but at other times they were really subtle and you felt like you were kind of in a private joke, which is always a nice feeling. Okay, those are my recommendations. I hope you got something out of this video. There will be links to all the books in the description. I cannot reply to your comment if you don't have Google Plus connected to your YouTube account, so if you want to have a chat, get Google Plus connected to your account. I know it's very annoying, but such is life. If you need me urgently, tweet me, because I also don't get emailed when I get a comment on a video anymore, so I don't really know if you've commented on my video. Anyway, we'll not complain, we will move on with our lives. Also, excitingly, but nothing to do with books, I have a Sublime giveaway going on right now. I'm running from today until this day next week, and I'm giving away a quite wonderful ModCloth sweater. It has cats on it. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to enter, the link will be in the description. It's completely free and good and all the nice things. I'll be giving you lots more book recommendations before Christmas in case you're like me and you like buying everyone books for Christmas, because what better gift than the gift of literature. Bye!